Yes, everyone. Nintendo did announce a Nintendo Direct, and I can't wait to get into it and tell you what to expect and everything. Oh, this is exciting stuff. But before we do, I got to just remind you just super quickly that, hey, 2 lucky winners can win a game of choice for your platform of choice, as long as it's a modern day platform. So PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, Switch 2, or PC. It's just a standard edition game. You have to be 18 or older to enter. You can enter through the link down in the pinned comment or the description, and yes, we will draw the winners in August. Also, I want to throw out there that we are also giving away 5 4-day passes for PAX West. So just letting you guys know, if you want to go to PAX West and you live in that Seattle area, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for you to get in for free, even if you don't go all 4 days. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. I don't want to make you wait anymore. Here's the announcement. Nintendo of America, join us for a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase tomorrow, July 31st at 6 a.m. Pacific. Tune in for roughly 25 minutes of information on upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch games from our publishing partners. Now, this is happening tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, or for me, 8 a.m. Central. You know, we'll probably be live about an hour early. That's kind of what we do around here. Thunderstash Gaming is going to be joining me. We will have a bonus podcast episode, apparently all about third-party games, so that's going to be fun. Now, look, some people are probably disappointed that this is not a big general Nintendo Direct, especially with how many release dates we need to know for their games. However, Nintendo has been doing some of that release date stuff via the Nintendo Today app, so they could do it there. Also, this just means that the September Direct is probably going to be pretty damn loaded. That said, we are in desperate need of third-party game announcements. I think we forget at times that not a whole lot of games have actually been announced for Switch 2, and there are games in here that we could get really excited to see. As an example, Age of Imprisonment. Age of Imprisonment is the kind of game that could appear in a partner showcase like this. Obviously, things like Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope or all that stuff, like they could have those come out with like Switch 2 editions or deluxe bundles. I'm just saying that because Ubisoft said they were probably going to bring them back in some form on Switch 2. But setting that aside, obviously we need dates for things like Final Fantasy VII. We need dates for Silksong. That's the kind of game that could appear in this. That's pretty hype. And there could be a bunch of new game announcements as well. Hell, we don't even have a release date for Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. So while I do expect us to get some updates on some of those games, I do also expect a bevy, a deluge of brand new announcements, whether it's games from Microsoft, whether it's games from Ubisoft or EA or Rockstar or whoever. We don't really know, right? Like, that's the whole cool thing here is now we know that this Direct is solely focused on games made by third-party partners, and that's really exciting. You know what also could slip in here? I know you guys don't like to think about this. Kirby Air Riders could maybe find a way to slip in. And I say this because it might be being made by Bandai Namco under the direction of, well, Sakurai. So Kirby Air Riders is actually a game that could be in here because it is made by a publishing partner. Obviously, Nintendo would probably publish the game, but just like they're going to publish, you know, Age of Imprisonment, but that doesn't mean that it can't be in there because it is one of their publishing partners. So those are like the kind of like Nintendo IP games that I sort of expect to see. So there still could be some really cool news in here. But obviously, you know, when you take the step back, a lot of people really wanted a lot of first-party announcements. And while we know a lot of first-party games, I will say that we know about a lot of first-party games. We need release dates. It does feel weird that we're not going to get them here. It does make me wonder what the plan is here. Is it just going to be a bunch of Nintendo Today and social media drops for release dates like they did with Dragon Drive? Yeah, that's entirely possible. They did the same thing with Legend ZA as well. That was just a social media drop. So it's very possible that all of those release dates are just going to come from Nintendo Today. The benefit, I guess, for me as a news channel is I'll get to sprinkle that news throughout the upcoming weeks and months. But also, September isn't that far away as well. We got to try to remember, we're almost to August. September is literally the next month. So it's possible Nintendo just wants to save everything for a big September Direct. And I will say, with this being a partner showcase, my expectation now for September is that that's going to be a general Nintendo Direct, not just a Super Mario Anniversary Direct, which is something I thought could happen. Nintendo's going to wait to do any of their big announcements until September, and that'll also include obviously more third-party stuff. So, you know what? I'm actually okay with that because, again, we're at the end of July, so we're only talking a month from now till we're to September, and then that hype begins for the 40th anniversary of Super Mario and a new Direct and all that. So, all right, cool. Partner showcase makes sense. And I've talked about extensively on our podcast that, man, it feels weird that we just don't have a lot of third-party games. Like, yeah, there's Borderlands 4. You know, we can go ahead and go down the list. There obviously is third-party games, Madden coming out, but we don't have a lot of information on some of these games. Most of them we haven't even seen run on Switch 2 yet. And on top of that, the list is pretty sparse. If you consider all the games constantly releasing everywhere else, you consider all those summer showcases that had 1 billion announcements. Yeah, we didn't have any of that happen here. So I'm really excited to see what happens at this Partner Direct. We will be live streaming it. We will have a bonus podcast episode. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait because these third-party games, to me, are the differentiator from Switch 2 to Switch 1, where I'm expecting a lot from third parties on Switch 2. I didn't expect as much on Switch 1. That's why those impossible ports became so exciting at the time, because like we just didn't expect any of it. And even then, we only got those kind of games sparingly. I don't feel like the ports are so impossible anymore when we're already launching with Cyberpunk, right? When we have stuff like that going on, I don't think these ports feel so impossible. So I do fully believe that we're going to get a bevy of third-party games because it's a third-party direct, and there's going to be a number of brand new announcements to excite people. One prediction I'll just throw out there right now, I think Call of Duty this year is coming to Switch 2. That could be why Nintendo doesn't have anything slated in November yet. Maybe they want to give that slot to COD, so we'll see. As like a gesture to Microsoft to be like, hey, we won't release a big game around your big game. To Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. I keep forgetting. It's crazy to me, like, as I'm always like, Activision. I'm like, wait, no, Microsoft actually owns Call of Duty now. Kind of crazy, because they also have Halo. They have Halo and Call of Duty. Man, Microsoft. I guess that's what you get when you spend $69.5 billion or whatever that final check was. Anyways, you guys let me know what your expectations are down below. We are doing Nintendo Direct Bingo tonight, so that's going to be exciting. We'll be live streaming the Direct tomorrow as well, and having a bonus podcast episode too to talk about all those big third-party announcements and all of that, because it's going to be exciting. Like, I play a lot of these games. I really do. I love third-party content. And who knows? Maybe we get some special announcements from Square Enix. Maybe we get some new stuff in there from Capcom. There could be a lot of really exciting announcements here, so I'm all in, baby. I'm fully diving in. And just a final note here towards the end: if you're tracking, you know, what leakers and insiders may have been correct, obviously Attack the Backlog and Nash Weedle, I guess you could argue, maybe get some props here. The biggest one's obviously Nate the Hate, who said there's a direct coming, but he didn't know if it would be a third-party direct or a general. Beat 'em Ups is the one that's a little weird, because he was one of the big ones to say there'd be a direct in July, and he's right. But then he had this whole list of games that he said would happen, and the one big thing was supposed to be like Animal Crossing. Well, that's obviously not happening, right? Like, that's a first-party game that wouldn't be in a direct like this. So Beat 'em Ups either had multiple sources and one was right and the rest was wrong, or his source was just wrong in general. I don't really know. Kind of weird. But hey, he did say some things I do expect, like Metaphor Refantasio. That could get announced today. So tomorrow. My gosh, look at this. I got to get going here. I got to get editing this video. My excitement levels are percolating. It's Nintendo Direct time, baby. Let's go. I'll see you guys tomorrow.